Alrighty, let me get the elephant out of the room. I would think some of you are wondering, Ryan, why are you on your phone? Well, short answer, these. The wire thing, my headphones, which have a built-in mic, are now just headphones. They're nothing more. They still work. I just can't talk with them. So I'm doing this on my phone until I get a new headset. But anyway, to the intro. Hey, what's up, everyone? Ryan Arnold, aka DM Master Reviews here, and I got Metal Ben here.
Hails, everyone.
Yep, and we are finally, after how long we've been thinking about this one?
Oh,
Maybe 2 years now. I
I'd
think
say
Jeff's.
probably
I
probably
mean,
about 3.
shout out to Jeff, by the way. Gas Mask and Hand Grenades. He's going to be doing something for Swallow the Sun here. But he did Scorpions originally. Oh yeah, we got
What's up,
George G's Room of Rock. Welcome.
I'll just stream it on my channel too.
Yep, I picked both channels. I picked both
Oh,
channels because
okay.
this is one of your favorite bands. It's Scorpions, obviously. But yeah, Jeff
Absolutely.
did them, but he only did he did a partial one. He only did what the parts we're gonna do tonight.
He did up to Love at First Sting, from what I
No,
remember.
I think he did do Savage Amusement. He went
Did
up
he?
to Savage, I believe. So it was
Maybe
just the
he did.
first 10. But we're doing all of them. That's right. Well, obviously not in one part, unfortunately. We're doing this in two because it's easier to do them in two. But yes, to keep it.
Absolutely. Uh-oh, where'd Ryan go? Still there, Ryan? Technical difficulties, I guess. What's going on, George? How you doing, man? Yeah, I think Ryan got booted. So we will be with you shortly here.
Alrighty, I'm back.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, alright. There we
All
go.
right.
My bad. Apparently, phone call. When you're having to do this on phone, things happen and stuff like that. But
Oh.
yes. Yep. Brody and them and all that stuff. But yes, what was I saying? Yes. We're doing all of Scorpion's albums. From, obviously, this is Lonesome Crow to Savage Amusement. And then we're also doing it from, part two is Crazy World up until their most recent album, Rock Believe.
Yep.
So, I believe Ben, I don't know if I can do all the solo layouts on here, but obviously Ben, you're obviously with Ben, I'm not doing all the history, unfortunately. He's doing all the history and stuff like that and everything else. I mean, there might be some things I'll mention here with all the stuff in between, maybe. But yeah, Ben's doing the history. So Ben, take it away. Let me see if I can do. Okay, there we go.
All right, here we go. Yes. Well, the Scorpions formed all the way back in 1965. It was formed by Rudolf Schenker. And at first, Rudolf Schenker was the rhythm guitarist and the lead vocalist. And early on, they had, several lineup changes. So, all right. So Rudolf Schenker, the band's rhythm lead guitarist, launched the band in 1965. Initially, the band had Mercy beat influences, whatever that means. And Schenker himself handled the vocals. He played in a band with Luther Hemberg before he founded the Scorpions. Karl-Heinz Vollmer left the band in 1967 because of his military obligations. Military service precluded him from performing in concert. Things began to come together in 1970 when Schenker's youngest brother, Michael Schenker would join the band. And Michael Schenker was only like 13, I believe, when he joined. So that would have been in 1970 when. All right, I lost. Okay. So then around 1970 also is when Claus Main joined the Scorpions, who had played together in the Led Zeppelin and Taste cover band Copernicious, excuse me, there. Joined by the band. With this lineup, they won a music contest in 1972, which there's actually short little clips of that here on YouTube. And recorded 2 songs for a single that was never released on the CCA label, but the song Action and I'm Going Mad were later released on different compilations albums, including Psychedelic Gems 2, which, yes, I've seen that here on YouTube too. In 1972, the group recorded and released their debut album Lonesome Crow with Luther Hemberg on bass and Wolfgang Disney on drums. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. And re-recorded their CCA songs. During the Lonesome Crow tour, Scorpions opened up for, the Scorpions opened. I think they meant to say open. Okay, yeah, the Scorpions opened up for the band UFO. I don't know, it's freaking worded wrong. Anyway.
But it does bring us to the first album, Lonesome Crow, and obviously kind of something a little bit different as I'm looking over at my notes here. I'll be going through these relatively quick, because it was going through all of these, like kind of in increments of like 3 albums each, except for the final. I just split things into 2. Lonesome Crow. Basically, yes, there is some of the prog. This is the only album of theirs where they have a 10+ minute track. This and I think the next album, Cloud Rainbow, it had some long stuff. And after that, they don't do that stuff. Lonesome Crow. My notes on this. I do hear prog rock. Yes, there is the prog rock because they're called crowd rock at the time, which is basically just, it's progressive and stuff like that. I do also hear stoner, doom, sludge, and jazz at times. But it was listening to, just hearing the guitar work from Michael Schenker.
And I couldn't help but notice his tone. It sounded so much like Tony Iommi. The riffage sounded so much like Tony Iommi, like riffage. You could probably, because it was probably a Gibson he was playing at the time. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Right,
but yes, it's just, I just remember hearing that guitar tone from Michael Schenker and just hearing Black Sabbath or Tony Iommi just all over it. It's like, I'm thinking probably because he might have had, it kind of sounded, because if I'm correct, Iommi plays an SG. Gibson, pretty much, if I'm correct. Because it sounded like Gibson. It sounded like a Gibson. It sounded so much like Iommi, pretty much. But I liked it. Liked it for the most part. It's probably out of all of them on here, unfortunately, it's a debut. It's probably at the moment for now, until maybe we get to part 2. For now, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Love it. All right, Ben, your thoughts on Lonesome Crow?
Now you sound good.
Okay.
It sounded a little muffled in the beginning there, but you sound fine now.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you heard I said the Iommi stuff pretty much. Okay, yeah, I need to try and speak. I need to probably speak a little bit higher on my end then. But yeah, it sounded like Iommi. Michael's guitar tone sounds very much like Iommi. It's pretty much Gibson. It just sounded so much like not Iron Maiden. Why is it Iron Maiden? Iron Maiden weren't even around in 1972 yet. But yes, Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, easily 9 out of 10.
All right, here we go. All right, so we're talking about the debut album Lonesome Crow. So yeah, this would come out in 1972. Trying to think when in 72 this came out. Bear with me here. Oh, wait, wrong one. So, okay. All right, here we go. All right, this came out on February 29th, 1972, Lonesome Crow by the Scorpions, on Brain Records, produced by Connie Plank, who was pretty famous for, producing a lot of his krautrock albums early on. So yeah, this album, man, this album's definitely a trip in its own right. They definitely had that krautrock, progressive rock influence of the time. And yes, the heavy stuff on here does sound a lot like Black Sabbath in parts, especially on I'm Going Mad. It's got a dark, heavy riff to it, And that, lyrically too, I mean, this album definitely isn't like very strong when it comes to lyrics because at the time, they didn't speak much English. So, the lyrics are pretty you could pretty much tell they were probably looking at a dictionary when they wrote the lyrics for this album.
Yeah.
But I'm Going Mad. This song's pretty trippy, pretty heavy, pretty psychedelic. I'll tell you what, Michael Schenker was probably only 14 or 15 when he recorded this album. And his freaking solos are just freaking awesome. I mean, there's a reason why Michael Schenker's an icon when it comes to guitar playing. Man, and he's playing like a freaking like on this debut, he's playing like he had played guitar for, I don't know, 20 years, and he wasn't even around 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, his freaking guitar tone's like incredible on this too. I'm Going Mad's a really good song. So then we go into It All Depends. This one's a little more fast and upbeat, Some interesting drum work on here too. Very jazzy, like drumming on here, And the bass player is very audible. You can hear the bass like big time on this album. Sometimes that's one thing I did notice, like especially when it goes into the solo breaks. Like the bass literally drowns out whatever Rudolph's doing on the rhythm guitars. You can't really hear it real good. But Michael's solos sound incredible. Leave Me, very psychedelic sounding song, very different from anything they would ever do. I mean, Quatsmain's doing some really psychedelic like vocal work on this track, and it just has a very psychedelic feel to it. In Search of the Peace of Mind. Apparently, this was the first thing Michael Schenker ever wrote on guitar, and he actually re-recorded this a couple years ago on one of his MSG albums. And really, this one's kind of interesting because it begins with like harmony guitar parts, which sounds very reminiscent of what Iron Maiden would sound like. And this is like freaking 8 years earlier, But I like that twin guitar part to begin the song. Then it gets like really melodic, really beautiful sounding. Actually, that melodic part, but the ending is freaking killer when it gets like super heavy. And Quatsmain's hitting these really high notes at the end. But yeah, the ending really has a Black Sabbath vibe to it. I really like it. Just an excellent song. Inheritance. Now, this is my favorite track on this record. Again, another very psychedelic sounding song, but Jesus Christ, the guitar solos in this song are incredible. And this is coming from a 15-year-old man at that time. The stuff he's playing, Action's kind of a strange song. Parts of it sound like ZZ Top, ironically. Very jazzy and ZZ Top sounding. Probably my least favorite track on here. Then you got the epic krautrock sounding Lonesome Crow to end the record. Very dark, very trippy, and very psychedelic sounding. And again, Shanker's played some really great solos on this track. So, a lot of people would rank this album very low. A lot of people, this is one of the Scorpions' worst albums. I'm going to defend this album. To me, yes, it's not their best album, obviously, but it still gets like a 7.5 out of 10 to me. As far as like a rate, as far as my rating goes.
Yeah, we couldn't be any more different. Obviously, 7.59 out of 10, somewhere in there is the middleman. But yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I thought the album was a fantastic album. Yeah, it has some weak moments, but for me, I did enjoy that album quite a bit. But I do think 9 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know if they had any more. Oh yeah, they did have a lineup change after all of this. If I'm correct, they had a lineup change somewhere in between this and the next album, because I think if memory serves me right, this would be they absorb a band, I think, at this point. And obviously Michael, I think, left to go and be with UFO at this point, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And then Klaus and Rudolph absorbed another remaining members of a band. One of those being Uli John Roth. I can't remember who was bass and drummer though. It was some guy, because the same drummer was it? No way, was it? Was the
All right,
bassist Buckles? I could be wrong. I can't remember. Ben? Oh, there. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
All right, there we go. Now, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
remember, if I'm correct, it's got to be Buckles, the longtime bassist, if I'm correct.
Yes. So now we're up to the album "Fly to the Rainbow," which came out in November of 1974. And this would be the first on RCA. Of course, it's got a very bizarre album cover.
Yeah, it's a pretty bizarre one, but yeah, first with Uli John Roth, first of two with the other drummer. I can't remember his name, but
let me get the lineup here. All right,
but I'm
so
pretty sure it's the longtime bassist who would be there until Crazy World. He would be there. Yeah, Jürgen Rosenthal. He later went on to play with Eloy. I believe that was the same guy that was. No, wait. No, that was the other guy. It's a different drummer in this one. But I could be wrong. But if it's I'm certain it's the Francis Buckles on the bass.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay, I knew I was right. But he's the longtime bassist. He would be there for all the successful 80s albums. So they have a bassist that's going to be there for the long run. But yes, and also the debut of Uli John Roth on guitar. And he also does vocals, I believe, as well.
Yes, he does on a few tracks, or on a couple tracks, yes.
Yes. What have I written down for Fly to the Rainbow? There's some songs on here that are starting to sound like what Scorpions would be. But that would be coming to late. Well, they still have the prog tendencies. They still have the prog tendencies on here. They won't be after this one, though, because there's still but the songs were, for me, starting to sound like traditional Scorpions, pretty much, at this point.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's all my notes. I give this a 9.25 out of 10.
Okay. So, interesting. Now he's listed here as an additional. There was around this period, the Scorpions was actually a 5-piece for a little bit. They brought in a keyboard player.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is Achman Kirsch. I'm going to butcher this name. Achman Kirschening. He was the keyboardist, mellotron, and synthesizer player for a little bit. And yeah, so yeah, we get a lineup change, like you said. Claude Main obviously still there. Rudolph Schenker is obviously still there. Michael Schenker would go off and join UFO. And yes, this would be the debut of Ole John Roth, back then called Ulrich Roth. And he was only around 19, or he was pretty young too. He was only around 18 or 19 when he joined the Scorpions. Yes,
Yeah.
Francis Buchholz on bass, and Jurgen Rothenthal on drums. So yeah, that completes your lineup, which to me, I think Jurgen's probably the best drummer this band ever had. His drumming's crazy on this freaking album. And you can see videos on YouTube for the track "This Is My Song" with him playing. He's just going nuts on the drums. So yeah, let's get into the track. Speedy's Coming. Okay, Speedy's Coming. Now this track, definitely a predecessor to what you would hear going into the future, when it comes to like the hard rock sound of the Scorpions. So yeah, pretty good opener, pretty hard rocking opener. They Need a Million. This one's very different. Still kind of has that krautrock thing going on. It has like a very flamenco sound to it. Then it sounds like almost very Spanish like. It's got like a Spanish feel to it. It's weird. And this track has Rudolph Schenker doing the lead vocals.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. He does do some lead vocals on this one, and yeah, he doesn't anymore. But this is the only time he has vocals on a Scorpions album.
I mean, the first part of the song when they're doing that flamenco part, that's Claude singing, and when it gets a little heavier, that's when Rudolph's doing the vocals. So that's kind of interesting. The only album where Rudolph would do vocals. Dryptic Sun. This one's very psychedelic sounding, very Hendrix-like. This one has Ole John Roth on vocals. I know a lot of people don't like his vocals. I don't know. I've grown accustomed to it over the years. Yes, he does. He's not the greatest vocalist by no means, but his guitar playing definitely makes up for it. Fly People Fly, man. Fly People Fly. This one could have been a Pink Floyd song, to be honest. It has a very Pink Floyd
because it does this. I believe I feel like this and the title track feel like they're connected because they mentioned the title track in this song.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, Fly People Fly, very Floyd sounding, very psychedelic. This is my song, man. Probably my favorite lead break on this album. Well, that's debatable because the last song, which we're going to get to here, Jesus Christ, that solo freaking Ole's playing at the end of this track and in the middle of this track. Very all along the Watchtower, like it's got that vibe and atmosphere to it, Such an amazing solo. So yeah, this is my song, and another one that has like those Iron Maiden harmonies in it too, that you would hear on future Iron Maiden albums, of course. Far Away, this one starts off really melodic. Now this one's kind of a predecessor a little bit to like how they would write. Yeah, kind of how they would write their ballads in the 80s, even though it doesn't fully sound like that. But the way it begins, it has like that Scorpions ballad-like sound to it. But yeah, this is a really cool song. Again, kind of psychedelic sounding too. And to me, the masterpiece on this freaking record is the last track, Fly to the Rainbow, with that classical acoustic beginning. Oh man, then it gets into like really awesome Maiden-like harmonies again. Just a really good song. I like the atmosphere of this song. And man, when freaking near the end of the track, the climax at the end of this track is what's freaking epic. You got Ole coming in, doing a Hendrix-like thing that's very spacey and psychedelic sounding, and then the climax when he's doing those fucking dive bombs from hell at the end, man, is just absolutely prestigious, man. What a perfect ending to an album. I would give this album not a definitely. Let's see. I'm going to give this one probably an 8 out of 10.
Mm.
I think it's another good album.
Yeah, definitely. It is. I mean, yeah, for me, none. I don't think. I'm not just gonna spoil it. All of the albums on here are over 9 out of 10. At least for me. Obviously, that probably will change come part 2, though. But I think at this point, all the albums for me are all over 9 out of 10s. Tens for me. Which I believe after this one, I believe that what's the name? I gotta scroll back up to who Eric Jurgen Rosenthal, I believe, left, and then we get, I think, if I'm correct, In Trance is the first one with the longtime bassist, Francis Buckles. I should be right in this case.
No, that's Fly to the Rainbow.
Oh, Fly to the Rainbow is Francis?
Yep.
Oh, go well. Well, then they get another drummer. They get a different drummer. I forgot his name, but he's on this one and on the next one after this one. He's on this one. And he's on this next one, and then he's also on Virgin Killer. We'll get to that one, but I can't remember who his name is. Dang it,
Rudy Lenners.
Rudy Lenners. After all of this, no more long songs because all the songs are relatively short, and we get this kind of I guess you could say, I think a lot of people kept saying Love Drive is where the quintessential classic Scorpion sound is. I say nay, it is this next one we're going to talk about, In Trance.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, pretty much. Gone is the prog stuff and is replaced by what is essentially the start of the traditional Scorpion sound of hard rock heavy metal. I wouldn't say too much heavy metal. I think when it comes to Scorpions, there's only one album that I think to myself is heavy metal. That's in part 2. I'll get to talk about that one. But really, the Scorpions hard rock, classic hard rock, and this is where it kind of starts. Is In Trance, not Love Drive. We'll talk about that later. In Trance is where it starts. But yes, Rudy Lenners is the drummer on this. So yes, for me, this is where it starts getting really, really good. Oh, yes. Not much else I can say. This is where it starts. 9.5 out of 10 for me. All right, Ben, your go.
All right. First things first, before we get into reviewing this album, I got to do this. Anyways, you probably can guess where I'm going when it comes to scoring this album, but I'm not going to give that away.
Oh, God, you're going to... Oh, God, I think I know. I think I might know. Okay, go.
Oh, dude, Dark Lady, man. Okay, so this, I should mention, too, this is the first album they did with Dieter Dierks, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. It would produce all their albums from here
up to Savage Amusement. Savage Amusement. Yeah. So basically, from here on out, all the albums are produced by Dieters.
All right, man. So Dark Lady begins the album. What a killer song. Fucking Ole John Roth's guitar playing on this song is on freaking fire. I mean, you gotta think, this is 1975, so at that time, the Scorpions were one of the heaviest bands on the planet at that time. For 1975, of course, this is a heavy song for that time period. Really good stuff. I mean, even Ole's vocals on this don't really bother me much. Oh my god. What more could be said? This song's just awesome. Then when Claude Main's doing the fucking high screams on this track, just killer stuff. Then we get into the masterpiece, one of many masterpieces by the Scorpions in this era, the title track, In Trance.
Sorry about that, Karen, but it's nice seeing you here in the chat. I apologize and stuff like that. We've just been talking about these albums and all that stuff, but yeah, I've seen y'all's comments and stuff like that. But yeah, continue, Ben.
All right. Anyways, back to In Trance. This song's absolutely amazing. One of my all-time favorite songs by the Scorpions. Just such an amazing melody in this track, and like what Oli's doing on this song is not complicated at all, but it sounds so damn good. Life's Like a River, a deep cut on here, kind of a dark melodic track on here. Pretty good stuff. I like this track a lot. It's got good melody to it. Some good like Sabbath like heavy riffs in it too in parts. Top of the bill. Oh man, now this is definitely a predecessor to what you would hear in the early '80s when it comes to the Scorpions. This one's another heavy song. It's got a huge hooky rip to it. And fucking Oli is just doing some insane dive bombs on this track. Just amazing shit. I love this track. Living and Dying, this one definitely is a darker track for the Scorpions. It kind of has a Sabbath vibe to it. Really good stuff. Very doomy sounding. And yeah, I really enjoy this track. Robot Man, a short little fast song, That's just a little fast, little energetic rocker. Not much to say about it, but it's a pretty kick-ass song. Evening Winds. Okay, so this one definitely continues the Hendrix type of vibe and the psychedelic vibe. Oh, man. Again, another track that just has jaw-dropping guitar work in it. What more can be said? It's freaking Ole John Roth, for crying out loud, people. So, of course, you're going to get jaw-dropping excellence, and he does an amazing job doing his best Hendrix on this track. Same with the next track, Son of My Hand. Very Hendrix-like. This one features Ole on vocals. Yeah, man. A pretty cool jamming tune, I must say. Watching for Fire, another really good rocking tune. Just a short little song. It's got a really good catchy chorus to it. And again, just amazing solos in this track. Then the last track, Nightlight's an instrumental. You don't get many instrumentals by the Scorpions.
No, you don't.
I've seen some people complain about this track. What's there to complain about? It's a great ender to this freaking album. This masterpiece of an album. Great instrumental. This album's a 10 out of 10. Come on now. 10 out of 10, man.
Yeah, but I'm having to save my 10 out of 10 and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm outside now. Fun, kind of the cool thing about having a phone is I can go out anywhere.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, not much else we can say. Not much change at all with the lineup. Let's go into the best Uli John Roth Scorpions album, Virgin Killer. At least for me, I love Virgin Killer a lot. Easily, in my opinion, the best of the Uli John Roth albums from Scorpions. Easily for me. My notes on this. Let me look through here. Where are we at? Yes, essentially this. But yes, I say way better, even though I give it the same score, 9.5. But I do say Virgin Killer is everything they did on Entrance, but make it better. Easily. Alrighty, Ben. Talk about Virgin Killer, my favorite of the Uli John Roth Scorpions albums.
There we go. Virgin
you
Killer.
got the other one. You got the where they're on the cover. Yeah.
Oh, I refuse to own the other cover. That cover's no way. You'll never see me have a copy of that. But yeah, the cover definitely caused a lot of controversy at that time, and the band didn't even want that on the cover. So, but anyways, that's the record label that did that. Obviously for shock factor back then. Anyways, let's just get to the album. I'll tell you what, this is another freaking masterpiece of an album. Oh man, Picture Life, dude. What a great beginning for this album. It's very it's upbeat, it's rocking, but man, the guitar again, you're gonna hear it said a lot on here. The guitar playing on this track is absolutely impressive. You got Ole doing some neoclassical tapping like solos in this. It's just amazing stuff. And man, Picture Life, it's just such a memorable track, So then you got Catch Your Train. This one's a little more upbeat. Obviously, a song about living that hard rock and roll life style, you know. Yeah, this is another really cool upbeat track, you know. Some kind of a little bit of a predecessor to what you would hear in the early 80s when it comes to the Scorpions, I guess. In Your Park, another ballad, a dark sounding ballad, kind of along the lines of like Life's Like a River, one of those songs, you know. It's a good song. It's definitely a deep cut. I'm not sure. They probably haven't played this live in many years, but it's a pretty cool melodic track. Backstage Queen. Hey man, every band had to have a song about groupies back in the 70s, didn't they? This one's a short little rocking tune, you know. I would say this is probably the weakest track on the album if I were to pick a weak track, even though I still listen to it and like it. I mean, and then we get the title track, Virgin Killer. This one's definitely faster and upbeat. Pretty kick ass song, in my opinion. Get some great blazing leads by Oli on this track. Yeah, man. And no, Virgin Killer is not about what it sounds like it could be about. It's actually about something else. I kind of forget what it's about at the moment. But yeah. So then we flip it over. We got Hellcat, very Hendrix inspired, with Oli on vocals. Decent track. I like it. Then we get another masterpiece to me on this record, Crying Days. And it's very rare that you hear the Scorpions write a song about the end of the world. At least lyrically, that's what I'm getting at. It's kind of about like the end of the world. But man, this one has like a. I remember the first time I heard this song when that Oli solo came in, my fucking jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, you know. And I was late getting into these 70s Scorpions album, you know. I didn't find out about these till like the late 90s. For the longest time, I thought Love Drive was the first Scorpions album until, I found out about all these other albums.
Oh, so you're kind of like me when finding out the Black Album was what I thought was the first Metallica album until I found out they'd done stuff in the 80s.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like back in the day, they put out these compilation cassette tapes. Like you had the Best of the Scorpions 1 and Best of the Scorpions 2 and Hot and Heavy and Hot and Slow. And those compilations all had songs from the 70s on it. So I remember me and a friend of mine were at a record shop just buying tapes or whatever, and he bought the Hot and Heavy tape. And he put that on. I'm like, fuck, this is good shit. And yeah, I remember hearing Crying Days off that, and I was just fucking floored at that guitar solo. It's still one of the best guitar solos I've ever heard. And the ending of this track, too, the climatic ending of this song. If you listen to it real good, you can kind of hear the melody of a future Scorpion song being played a little bit. I'm talking about Still Loving You. You got to listen to it real good to pick it out. At the very end of the song. Anyways, moving on. Polar Nights. This is another rocking tune. Definitely, oh man, this has some really good riffs by Oli on it. Oli does the vocals. Again, it's got that Hendrix influence. Really good stuff. And then we ended with freaking Yellow Raven. What a masterpiece of a song. Very melodic, very spacey sounding. Just very relaxing sounding too. When you listen to it, it's like you're flying on clouds, man. It's so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's pretty much Virgin Killer for you. Oh man, I'm giving this one a 9.5 out of 10.
For once, we agree. We agree on a rating.
Yeah, the only song that kind of holds it back to me is Backstage Queen a little bit, but other than that, it's still a freaking awesome album.
Yeah, I think with all of this ends up being the last Scorpions album with Uli Jon Roth doing vocals. And I do want to mention Uli Jon Roth's favorite Scorpions albums are this one and In Trance. He likes those two the most. I remember it was like I saw on their Wikipedia. He said, "Oh, those are my favorites: Virgin Killer and in trance. I couldn't say the same about the next one we're about to talk about. But that was the last one with Leonard, and we get the '80s drummer for Scorpions, Herman Rarebell, pretty much. So we're
Yep.
almost at the golden lineup, we could say, for Scorpions, which would be the predominant lineup of the '80s and stuff like that. We're almost, and we get Taken by Force, the last one with Uli John Roth. Obviously, I will say it's pretty much, for me, it's the same. I'm going to give it the same rating, 9.5. Liked it. But I was trying to remember, there was one time I keep hearing one of the songs, and then it was like, on this album, it was like, I didn't realize it was from this album. It was, what was it? The Sales of Chiron, I believe it was called. And it had like this kind of a jazzy groove to it. And I'm like, Furball, come on, let's go. I'm just remembering that one for some odd reason.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Ben, take it over.
All right, so this one I had both versions.
Oh, really? Nice.
Well, this one's a remaster from 2015. That's actually the original cover. Again, it caused controversy back in the day, which I don't get why. To be honest.
Yeah, compared to the original Virgin Killer cover, that looks more tamed.
So then this was a 2003 reissue. I definitely prefer that cover, obviously. But anyway, let's get into this. Well, we're going to talk about another one of those type of albums, you best believe it.
Oh, it's another one. Oh, boy.
Steam Rock Fever, man. This song just kicks ass, man. This one's kind of punky sounding for the Scorpions. It kind of has like punky riffs to it. It's weird. This is one of the few Scorpion songs, too, that does not have a guitar solo. But man, this song freaking rocks. We'll Burn the Sun. Oh, Jesus. Come on, man. This song's completely epic, man. We'll Burn the Sky. Excuse me there. It's a masterpiece. What more could be said? Freaking just a great opening to this track. And then you get those neoclassical guitar solos by Uli John Roth on here. Great vocals by Klaus Mann. Really, really good stuff indeed. I've Got to Be Free. Again, another one of these tracks, that kind of has a Hendrix feel to it. But again, it's a really good track, I think. I really enjoy this song. And it's weird to me because, this track to me sounds like, or it's at least you would think with the way it sounds, this would be one that, you'd think Oli would sing. We don't. It's Claus doing the vocals. Oh, man, The Rides of Your Time. This is another excellent Scorpion song, in my opinion. This one's kind of unique, too. It's got a really good melody to it. But there's, like, parts of this song, too, that have, like, a disco drum beat going on. But it freaking works for some reason. I like it. But, yeah, I like The Rides of Your Time. Really good song. Oh, man, come on. This song's just a pure masterpiece, what we're going to talk about next. The Cells of Sharon. Come on.
Yeah, that was the one I can't remember. I saw a music video or something like that, or it was like some kind of like a promo. It was like banana, banana. Just hearing that riff, I'm like, where have I heard that? And then I was like, oh my god, that's the song. It was that one, Sales of Charon. It was that one. I was like, oh my god.
And I gotta say, man, this song's probably one of the most influential Scorpion songs too, because like Yngwie Malmsteen, freaking Testament. Those are a couple that I can remember that covered this song. And I'm sure there's others too that out there that have covered this.
There was some others later on in that album that the others have covered.
But this song definitely influenced a lot of guitar players. And I can see why. The playing on this track is just absolutely stunning. Again, Oli doing his neoclassical-like playing. Kind of a predecessor to what you would hear more from Yngwie Malmsteen in the future. Anyways, moving on. Your Light, kind of a deep cut on here. Again, this track's kind of Hendrix. Again, it sounds like one you'd think Oli would sing, but it's Claus doing the vocals. I don't know if the record company stepped in at the time and it's like, oh, you're not doing vocals on an album no more. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Anyways, you're like a good Hendrix sounding deep cut. Oh boy, then we get our taste of proto thrash metal a little bit here. With He's a Woman, She's a Man. That riff.
Yeah, that's one of the other ones that I think bands have covered.
Yeah, a lot of bands did
That's
cover
the other one. That's one of the other ones on there.
Let's see, that song's been covered by Evil Dead. Hellstar covered it. Helloween covered it. So there's a few bands.
That's right. Helloween did, yeah.
Anyways, He's a Woman, She's a Man. This is definitely a proto thrash metal type of song. The riff's just freaking menacing. It's probably the heaviest song the Scorpions ever did. It's just a kick-ass tune. But then we ended with a freaking gorgeous song, Born to Touch Your Feelings. Wow, this is just jaw-dropping amazing. You know, it's always cool when the Scorpions end an album with a ballad like this. And, man, just a masterpiece of a track, in my opinion. I mean, what more could be said? This album gets a fucking 10 out of 10, man. It's a perfect album, in my opinion. The production's really good, too, for 1977.
Yep.
So,
but all good things have to come to an end. That's the end of the early John Roth era of the band, because he ended up leaving and he went on to form Electric Sun. And we get, obviously, the debut of Matthias Jabs, and also, for a handful of songs on this album, Michael Schenker comes back. I believe he had just left UFO and he came and recorded some lead guitar stuff and all that stuff on this one. And we get the beginning of the classic era of Scorpions with their, I believe if I'm correct, 1978 Love Drive.
hell yeah. Sorry, chat room, we're not ignoring you.
We're not ignoring you. Yeah, basically. Yeah, this is the start of the classic Scorpion sounding lineup, with some songs having lead guitar work done by Michael Schenker. I do have one specific song I did want to mention on here. Always Summer. I believe this was the first song that Matthias Jabs did. And whenever I was hearing this song, I was like, why have I heard this? It sounded like, I know it was kind of a ballady song, but I was like, where have I heard this? And then it dawned on me, this sounds like Simple Man from Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yes.
I was like, why am I hearing Lynyrd Skynyrd in a Scorpions track? What? Like, I was just like, oh my god. It was like, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because you agree with me too on this one. Why am I hearing Lynyrd Skynyrd in my Scorpions? I
got a story to tell you about that then, so we'll get to it. But yeah, well, before this, we're going to talk about this real quick, because I just think it needs to be talked about.
Oh, I do want to mention I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10, cool, okay. All right, man. Tokyo Tapes. I'm going to talk about this just briefly. It's a live album, of course. The last thing they did with Ole John Roth, obviously, and this, to me, is quintessentially probably the best live album that's ever been made. Just my opinion. I think this is an awesome live album. The sound on here is absolutely incredible. And yeah, it's just a really good live album. Anyways, that's Tokyo Tapes, and thanks to Eric and Dreadful Minutes and Karen for dropping by.
Yep, I believe
and Team USA.
Here, but I was so glad I'm not the only one that was like, I knew I heard that it was freaking Lynyrd Skynyrd Simple Man. Like, that song was just like, why am I hearing, like, Jesus. But yes, talk about Love Drive.
Yeah. I got it on cassette tape. Wow,
that's kind of a different cover. I didn't know that's kind of a different cover, because I'm so used to the one where it's the guy and the girl, there's, gum that was covering up a little bit of a nipple on her titties and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm so used to that one.
I need to get that cover too, man. Now that one I would do it, but anyways. All right, so yeah, you get 8 songs on here now. Michael Schenker actually came back to the band for a little bit for this. Apparently, he played on 5 of the songs on here.
Yep. And he plays the opening song, Loving You Sunday Morning.
All right, so yeah, this album, now this is where you get the 80s Scorpion sound. Starting on this album, a little bit on Taken by Force, a few, track here and there on the previous albums, but this is where we get full on that well-known 80s Scorpion sound.
Yep.
Loving You Sunday Morning. This song just, oh man, I love this track. It's such a good rocking tune.
Hell yeah.
It's one of them songs you want to listen to on a hot summer day with the windows down, the stereo cranking in your vehicle, driving around on a back road, It's one of them type of songs. Or just one of them songs you put on in the background if you're hanging out with your buddies, drinking a couple beers, just chilling. One of them tracks, man.
Yep.
It's such an awesome song, Another piece of meat. This is a freaking rager of a track, almost speed metal like on this track. It's pretty fast.
Michael's on this one too.
Yeah, Michael, yep. So yeah, another piece of meat. I freaking love this track. It's just an excellent rocking tune. Always Somewhere, yes.
The Leonard Skinner Scorpions. The Leonard Scorpions song, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if you played this for somebody that never heard it, they'd think the same thing. In fact, I've done that. In fact, some girl I know here in town, we was hanging out at the VFW quite a few years back, and she likes the Scorpions too, but she never heard the earlier Scorpions. So I put on a deep track, and I put on Always Somewhere. She's like, that sounds like Leonard Skinner. I'm like, it's the Scorpions.
Yeah, it's that rhythm section instead of dun dun dun. The main riff of Simple Man. It's like
it does.
It's that
yeah.
riff, and I'm like, why am I hearing Leonard Skinner on there? I mean, my Scorpions like what?
Yeah, it definitely has that Simple Man type of vibe to it. But man, it's one of the Scorpions' best ballads, in my opinion. One of their most underrated tracks. And then we get another instrumental here. And one of the only tracks I can think of where Claude Main actually plays rhythm guitar. Yes, Coast to Coast. This is a good track, man. I mean, it's a good instrumental. I really like it a lot. It's a good rocking instrumental, man. I love it.
This was another Michael Schenker song, I believe.
All right, can't get enough now. This one's a raging, hard rocking tune. Just a good little heavy tune by the Scorpions, Let's see here.
Yep, Eric. 100%. Yep. Oh, let me play it. Yeah. That. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Oh, this is an interesting track. Is there anybody? Well, oh yeah, is there anybody there? Okay, anyways, hard to read these freaking small letters sometimes. Is there anybody there? Yes. The next track. Now, this one, quite different sounding. It's got like a reggae sound to it. But ironically, you'd think somebody like me would hate this song. I actually don't hate it. I think it actually works for this song. It's a good song.
Yeah, it's a break. It's a break from the norm in some case. I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Oh man! And then the title track, Love Gun. Listen to me, Love Drive. I mean, not Love Gun. Love Drive. The song just freaking rocks, dude. This one, man, this is one of the heavier Scorpion songs too. It's got like a galloping riff in it. I want to say Michael Schenker is playing on this track too.
I could be wrong. I wouldn't know. Maybe I think he was. Wait, what tracks was he on? I know it was 1, 2, 4. This would be track 8, correct?
7.
Oh, 7, yeah. No, I don't think that's him. I think he might be. I think he was 8 and 9. I know you played 5.
All right, so I can't exactly remember off the top of my head which ones he played on. But anyways, Love Drive. This song just rips, man. It's such a rocking tune, man. It's got some pretty galloping, heavy riffs. Kind of similar rips to what you would hear in a lot of new wave of British heavy metal, which isn't far off. And we ended with another awesome ballad, Holiday.
Yep,
Man,
You are. Yep, he does play on Love Drive.
oh, he did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and he does play on this next one too. He does play on Holiday. Oh, it's only 8 tracks. So yeah, it's 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8. Those are the 5, and every other song is Matthias.
Yes, yep. All right, so Holiday, man, this song's just absolutely gorgeous, man. Just an amazing ballad, by the Scorpions. Yeah, the lyrics are probably a little repetitive on here on this track because the lyrics really don't go many places on this track, but man, the music is just so incredible on here. And we get a nice solo by Matthias Jabs on this track too. So, anyways, so what would I rank this album? Ooh, this is such a damn good album. I'm going to be very high on this record too. Or yeah, man, I'm going to give this one probably. I can't really think of anything weak on this freaking album. To me, it's a 10 out of 10 album too. I got to give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's a good album.
Yeah, I think for me, not many of their albums, barring maybe one later on. Not in this part though. But I think most of them are 9.5 for me. But then we get to kind of finally, Michael did leave after recording all those stuff. And they finally, Matthias, after some intense negotiating, he's finally in the band. So we now get the first official full all the way album where it's the 80s lineup. And we're already in the 80s pretty much. We get to Animal Magnetism. A bit, yeah, pretty much kind of similar to Love Drive, pretty much. A little bit better. Obviously, the big song, The Zoo, is from this album. But then I was hearing the title track, Animal Magnetism. I'm like, it's kind of, I don't know how I could describe it in some case. It's doom-ish a little bit because it's slow. It's kind of doomy a little bit, but I'm like, I can't really say it's fully doom. It's just like it sounds. The guitars are heavy, but I just can't put a finger like, is it doom or is it something else? Or doom-ish. It's just like the guitars are so heavy, but it's like it sounds doomy a little bit. It sounds heavy. It sounds doom, but it's like I can't put a finger if it's actually doom. It's doom-ish. And
Yeah,
then I think the other song that I mentioned on here, Lady Starlight, which if you ever wanted to have a Scorpions font, that's what it's actually called if I'm correct. Because the font name is Lady Starlight for Scorpions. Just pointing that out there. But yeah, I think other than that, those are the only ones being a standout. For me, another 9.5 out of 10. Love this one. Granted, it's about to change here. At least for one more album, is going to be a 9.5 for me. And then others. So, Ben, take it away
all right, here
for
we go.
Animal Magnetism.
Animal Magnetism. Kind of an album of theirs that doesn't really get talked about much. Yeah, this is kind of similar musically to Love Drive. It really is. Like Make It Real, man. This song is just a good opener. I mean, it's a good rocking tune. Kind of similar to Loving You Sunday Morning, kind of. You know, just a really good rocking good hard rocking track. I really enjoy this one.
I apologize. I wanted to mention this. To Tina, USA. This isn't Megadeth. At some point, there may be something Megadeth again. I mean, we did do a Megadeth deep dive a while back, but it's like, nah. But there isn't any Megadeth. This is Scorpions. This is Scorpions deep dive. So, wanted to clarify that to you, Tina. So, apologies and stuff like that. No Megadeth.
All right, back to the tracks here. Make It Real, really good rocking tune. Then we got Don't Make No Promises Your Body Can't Keep. Pretty much in the style of Another Piece of Meat. So you can see we're following a pretty similar pattern here with Love Drive and Animal Magnetism because this one's upbeat, fast. You know, it's a cool rocking tune though. Hold Me Tight. This song's pretty good. One I can't really remember too much off this record. So now we're getting to a period where it's, the songs might get a little hard to remember. But this is one of them tracks. 20th Century Man. This song's pretty decent, It's all right. Lady Starlight. Wow. You know what the score? Let's just say, let's just call it like it is. Excuse me there. At least in this time period, the Scorpions were masters at writing ballads. And this is no exception. This song freaking rules. Yes, it's very melodic. It's over 6 minutes long, but it's just a gorgeous song. Okay, so then we flip it over to Falling in Love. Man, if you listen to that beginning riff of this track, it's really a predecessor to what you would hear a lot of in Def Leppard. It really is. I'm talking like Pyromania, maybe Hysteria, that kind of like guitar playing, But yeah, Falling in Love's pretty decent. Only a Man, I think this is a really good deep cut. I really enjoy this one. Oh man, The Zoo. Now this song, still gets played on classic rock radio to this day. But
Yeah,
man,
it's a classic at this point. That definitely, I know for a fact, it's the dun, 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 dun. It does have a little bit of a doomish kind of riffage, a little bit. Just that, dun, 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 dun. Just that riff. It's like God.
Oh yeah, The Zoo is an awesome song, man. What a riff too. This song's so much fun to play on guitar too. I mean, it's such an awesome track, and you get the talk box guitar solo in it. And then we get the title track, Animal Magnetism. What a heavy fucking song. Yeah, this one's definitely heavy, doomy sounding. It's just an awesome song, man. You get some like awesome dive bomb stuff going on by Matthias Jabs. Just a really good riff by Rudolph, Awesome way to end this album. However, this one is a step down just a little bit, not by much. It still gets like an 8. No, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I still enjoy this album. So yeah, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it is kind of a little bit on the weak end of things in some case for me. But yeah, I do still give it a 9.5 for me. Now we get into some good stuff. 1982, a year that had so many great hit albums. And when I think that year, I think of Screaming for Vengeance from Priest. I think of the Number of the Beast. And I would also think of this album, which I would say is a good third behind those two. We get Blackout! Freaking Blackout!
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, we're finally getting good here. Easily one of the best classic Scorpions album from front to back. I will admit one song in particular I am kind of getting a little bit irritated with, and that is the song Arizona, but it's only because I kept listening to on the Sirius XM radio. What was I think I can't remember what channel. It was one of the metal channels. They were doing kind of a United States of Metal one, and they played that one. I'm like, God, why? It was kind of getting on my nerves. I'm like, God, I have to hear this again. But for the most part, the album is a fantastic album. 9.75 out of 10.
Ooh, I thought you'd give that a 10. I was waiting for a 10.
Not quite. Not quite. Arizona is the reason I can't give it a 10. Because I'm getting a little bit sick of hearing that. I'm like, well, thank God I don't have to listen to that anymore. But it's just that one, and I'm like, eh. But yeah, you open it up with Blackout. I mean, come on, just.
All right,
that's when Matthias becomes a freaking beast on the guitar. Just doubt the riffage from him, like, oh damn.
I really had a blackout, baby. All right, here we go. Let's get it.
And even I think they ended up re-recording that on the Come Black album. And God dang it, Matthias can still shred. Oh my God.
Hell yeah. Well, there was some stuff that went down going into this album. Claus Bane actually lost his voice before making this record and had to get throat surgery. And yes, at the time, they thought he would never sing again. How we were proven wrong. So, for a little bit, and apparently there's demos out there that exist. Apparently, Don Dawkins sang on the demos for this album. Of Dawkins, of course.
Yeah, but that's what I saw on the credits. I'm like, wait, Don Dawkins doing backing vocals on this? What?
So, anyways, Claus would eventually return, and you cannot tell he fucking lost his voice at all.
Nope.
Anyways, Blackout. What a rocking, energetic tune this is. Pretty, it's fast and upbeat. Just a good, energetic way to begin this great album. Can't Live Without You. I like this song. Parts of it kind of annoy me, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
It's a good song. I do enjoy that one quite a bit.
I mean, yeah, I like it, but I don't know, the chorus, for some reason, doesn't really resonate with me well. No One Like You. This was a big hit for them. It still gets played on radio to this day. Really good, melodic, hard-rocking track. I still enjoy it. You Give Me All I Need. This is a good deep cut, I think. This is kind of along the lines of No One Like You, too, where it's like heavy, melodic, I think it's a pretty underrated.
Here's the thing I noticed on that. It's not Matthias on the lead guitar. It's Rudolph on the guitar on that song, track 4.
Really?
Yeah, I look at the credits. I'm looking at this. Rudolph Shaker is on lead guitar for 3 songs on here, and You Give Me All I Need is one of them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't know that even until I saw it. I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, because that kind of makes me puts Rudolph more in like the James Hetfield one, where you could possibly shred, but he's more of a melodic solo person.
Yeah.
Because Matthias is like in the Kirk position where he's like shredding. For example, Blackout, obviously. It's like,
absolutely. All right, so then we get the last track on the first half now, just a short little fast track. That's all. Don't really have much to say about that track. It's just really short and fast and energetic. Oh, man, Dynamite. Then we turn it over to Dynamite. Dynamite is just another fast-paced rocker of a tune. One of my favorites off the album. Just a really, really good, fast-paced rocking track. Arizona. This track's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because this was the song that I was like, I'm so burned out of it because I was so listening to it on Sirius XM. I can't remember. It was one of those Sirius XM metal stations. I'm like, God, I keep getting so burned out on this song. God, I have to hear this again.
That's kind of an odd choice that they play that on.
But they were doing all the metal songs. They were doing all the stuff for United States of Metal. They were trying to go around some of the states that metal bands had sung around. And fortunately, Scorpions wrote a song for Arizona, pretty much.
Okay. Anyways, this track's kind of interesting because I think this was actually released as a single back then. Because they did a video for this track. You can find it on YouTube. They did a music video for this track.
Huh.
So, yeah, which is kind of interesting.
But that would probably mean I have to. But that would probably mean I have to listen to it for a 4th time and get annoyed by it. I'm not forgetting it again. No.
I mean, I would probably agree. It's probably one of the weaker tracks on this album.
Yeah, it's the reason the album doesn't get a 10 for me in this case. It's just like, God, I'm just.
But boy, that changes real fast because China White absolutely kicks ass.
These last 2 tracks are also Rudolph on lead guitar.
Yeah, interesting, huh? China White, what a riff, man. That's such a heavy riff for them. Again, this one's kind of doomy sounding. I love it. It's actually China White would be my favorite track off this album. And there was a wrestler that actually used this for a theme song back in the early days of WCW.
Who?
Sid Vicious.
Nice.
That and the Skyscrapers when him and Mark Calloway would go on to be the Undertaker.
Oh,
He's the song.
nice. Freaking, that made me like Taker more. He likes some Scorpions. Hell yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the last track, When the Smoke is Going Down. Going back to ending the album on a ballad, where on the last record you got a Do Me Heavy song to end the record. This is a good ballad. I like this one too. You know, I think it's a good way to end the record. You know, Scorpions seem to be pretty good at ending the records with ballads, at least in this period. So yeah, great ending to the album. However, this one only gets a 9 out of 10 for me.
Really? Wow, that low. I mean, I was much more nice to it. Dang. All right.
Because of Arizona, and I'm not a big fan of the course. And
yeah, but I gave it I deduct 2.25. You deduct 1. Like, damn.
Well,
Alrighty. Now we get into some even better. Love It for Sting. Oh, yeah. Not much else what we can say. It's the quintessential essential Scorpions album. What else is there to say about it? 9.75 again for me. Love it. This is the best one for me out of all the 80s Scorpions album. Love it. All right, Ben.
All right, here we go. Of course, I got the censored album cover with just a band on it.
Oh, that's what the video I was watching for that album had that on there.
But then there is an explicit cover too.
Yeah, it's the woman one guy hugging the woman. Yeah, that's the one I'm so used to.
All right, let's get on with it here. This is where the scores start to go a little down for me, unfortunately. Okay, so this album was commercially very successful, obviously, for a song we probably don't even have to talk about on here, but let's get on with it. Bad Boys Running Wild opens it. A good, energetic, rocking track. It's a fun song. Okay, Rock You Like a Hurricane. Do we really have to talk about this song? Everybody freaking knows it. I mean, it's an iconic riff, you know. I mean, I'm a little burned out on the song myself, but it is, you know, it's got a very iconic, memorable riff.
Nah, Cyboom is never illegal, Aaron. Cyboom is never illegal.
Like, so then we go into I'm Leaving You. The song's not bad, but it's not one of my favorites on here. It's kind of whatever, to be honest. Coming Home. This song freaking rips. I love Coming Home. This is a good song. And the thrash metal band Tankard does a really awesome cover of this song. I forgot to mention, too, Testament covered Animal Magnetism. I forgot to mention that earlier on. Anyways, so yeah, Coming Home. Oh, man, this song's just really good. Starts off really melodic and gets pretty rocking and fast-paced. The Same Thrill, yeah, it's fast, but I'm not really a big fan of this song. I just think it's whatever. All right, so then we flip it over. Big City Nights. This is a good rocking tune. I do like this track, you know.
Yep. Take again. Rudolph does lead guitar on this one. In fact, outside of Rock You Like a Hurricane, Rudolph does the solos for the 2 big songs on this album. I think you should know what the other one is after this one.
Okay. I think I know which one it is. I think I know which one it probably is. Big City Nights. Okay, yeah, like I said, pretty good rocking tune. As Soon as the Good Times Roll, this one's kind of filler, as I'm not really a big fan of this track. Crossfire, this one's kind of interesting. I think it's kind of a cool track, you know. It's a little different. Kind of has like a marching atmosphere to it. But it's got a really good heavy riff in it. And, of course, you know, this has got to be the other one where Rudolph's doing the solo.
Yep, Still Loving You. Yep, he does the solo, does the lead guitar work on this. I was so surprised that it was him. I'm like, wait, that's not Matthias doing that? What? It's Rudolph doing the lead work on Still Loving You? What?
All right, so, oh yeah, where am I? Oh yeah, Still Loving You. Come on, this song's just a brilliant, beautiful masterpiece of a song, you know. It's well played. It's well done. It's got an incredible melody to it.
Loving you. Jesus,
It's just an
that
awesome.
it's oh my god. I didn't even need to play. I know the song. It's just like I didn't even need to play it. It's like that's how it's so good. I mean, because I know how good it is. I don't even need to play it to go through it. I know how fantastic Still Loving You is. Like,
Heck yeah, it's an awesome song. However, score wise, this one does step down a bit. I gotta go with an 8 out of 10 for this one.
oh, that does hurt. Oh wow, damn, that does hurt a little bit.
I think for me, it's just a little too commercial.
Yeah, I think for me, it's after this one. It does kind of go downhill because we come to the final album at least in this part. Oh boy, Savage Amusement. Now, why did I even say that? It's a good album. I think for me, it's kind of the same sound. It's just like it's starting to get more of a modern production. Because it's at late '80s because production's starting to get a little bit better at this point. It's starting to sound more modern and stuff. So it's basically what they were doing on Love Drive and Love at First Sting, but just with a modern production in some cases. Some of the songs just sound like they're the same and all that stuff. I have to give this one a 9.5. It is starting to go downhill for me after this one. So, yeah, it's starting at this one. And then we'll get to when they would eventually bounce back in part two, and you'll see they had a decline. Also, this is the last one with Dieter, if I'm correct.
Yes, last one with Dieter. Yes.
Yes. All right, Ben, take it away for the final album, Savage Amusement.
All right, Savage Amusement. Yeah, this one definitely drops in quality. I mean, it's not horrible. There's stuff on it I do like. What bugs me is the Def Leppard Hysteria-like production on this record. That's what.
Yeah, that's where, because production-wise, it is starting to sound like that, and starting to sound a little bit more modern sounding a little bit. It's like, take what they were doing on their previous album, make it more modern sounding pretty much, because we're getting closer and closer to more modern sounding production pretty much at this point.
Right. All right, let's get into this track by track here. Don't Stop at the Top. I don't mind it. I think it's a good song. I just think the production's way too clean on it. It's like the balls really have been taken off of this record when it comes to the guitar tone. But it's still a decent track. Rhythm of Love.
Yeah, we know this one. This one's...
Yeah, I mean, this song's not one of my favorites either. It's whatever. Passion Rules the Game. Like, these songs would be okay if they had more edge to them and not such a clean production, because they're not really bad songs, but the clean production just ruins them for me. Media Overkill, I don't like at all. I don't like that song at all. I think it's terrible. Walking on the Edge, I'm not a big fan of either. I don't really care for it. We Let It Rock, You Let It Roll, and it's kind of forgettable. I don't really remember it. Every Minute, Every Day, this song's all right. Kind of see a pattern here. But to me, the only good song, like the only really good song on this record is Love Is on the Run. This is like the Scorpions I want to hear. Fast, rocking, energetic. I think it's a pretty good song. I like it. Believe in Love, I gotta say, when it comes to their ballads, this is definitely one of the weaker tracks. I'm gonna give this one a pretty low score, man. I'm gonna give this like a 6.5 out of 10.
Wow, that surprises me quite a bit of how low. Yeah, but it is for us. It is starting to go. It is starting to get pretty low at this point. So yeah, obviously with this being the final album, I guess we can kind of now give our rankings of the 10 we just talked about. So I think for me, I pulled up my list. You ready for the ranking, Ben?
Okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna do our rankings.
Yep, at least part one, and then obviously you got to remember the order of all of these because we are doing part two, and then we're gonna have the part two ranking and then the combined one in part two, pretty much. But yeah, all right. Number 10 for me, Lonesome Crow.
Well, number 10, Savage Amusement.
My number 9 is Fly to the Rainbow.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure I gave Fly to the Rainbow a
A
lower
higher score. I think Savage Amusement
give
is
it an 8.
below Lonesome Crow. Lonesome Crow had a 7. You gave it that a 7.
All right. Well, I think I might have. Okay. My next one, oh boy, this is going to be a controversial one. Love at First Sting.
Oh, that's your number 9. Wow. Okay, number 8 for me, Taken by Force.
Let's see, number 8 for me would be probably. Okay. I'm going to say Fly to the Rainbow for number 8.
Number 7, Entrance.
Let's see, number 7 for me would be. Okay. I'm going to go with Animal Magnetism.
Wow. Number 6, the best Uli John and Roth album, Virgin Killer. At least for me, that
See,
is.
number 6 for me would be. I'm going to go with, Lonesome Crow.
My number 5, Love Drive.
Let's see. Okay, now we're in the perfect. Okay, got this figured out now. All right. Number 5, Blackout.
Yeah. Number 4, Animal Magnetism.
Let's see. My number 4 would be. Okay, Virgin Killer.
Ooh, dang. Number 3, Savage Amusement.
Number 3 for me has got to be Love Drive.
Ooh, fine. Number 2, Blackout. I wish I could pull the vinyl out, but I don't have it.
Jesus Christ, number 1 and 2 could literally be tied. But for number 2, man, I got to go with Taken by Force.
Yep. My number 1, Love at First Sting.
Without a question, my number 1 is Entrant.
Yep. I'm not surprised. But yes, this has been part 1. Obviously, we will be back next Saturday. My God. If y'all thought, if you thought for him Savage Amusement and for me Lonesome Crow were bad, oh God, in part 2 we'll be talking about, because obviously we're mentioning we're doing 2-parter. Part 2 is all of them from Crazy World to Rock Believer, which means we will be talking about the worst one from Scorpions. We will be talking about that. My God, it's not going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm dreading having to listen to that when I get to that.
Yep.
But yes, I'm Ryan Arnold, aka Demon Mask Reviews. That is Metal Ben. We will see y'all later, and as always, keep things metal.
Oh.
We will see y'all later.
All right, peace.